Hello, my name is Hadley Pagel, and today I'm going to be presenting my Chinese calligraphy final project. To begin with, I thought this was the best piece of script work I did in this class. It was the second project we did, so it was regular script. And just a little background info, regular script was perfected in the Tang Dynasty. It's known for having a typical square shape, and it's called the standard or model script. Many textbooks and signs use this script because it's just basic and straightforward. That's why it's also a good idea to learn calligraphy with this script. Once you get this one down, you can move on to more difficult scripts like running, cursive, or clerical, but this one is most important to learn first. Also, the characters and strokes are separate, so you can see where the calligrapher picks up their brush and sets it back down to create the strokes and then the bigger characters. So a few strengths on this piece I thought was the neatness. I was proud of the way that I placed the script on the paper. It was centered for the most part, and there was an even amount of space between it. They weren't too far away. They were balanced and put together. The characters also follow the square shape that they're supposed to follow, and the strokes are obviously separate. So, like I said earlier, you can see space between where I picked up my brush and put it back down to form the strokes. And then some areas of improvement that I could have. If I were to do this now, I would try to make the variation of the thickness in my strokes a little more obvious. Since this was only the second piece, I wasn't as good at this, and I feel like all the characters kind of have the same thickness of strokes. And so if I were to do it again today, that's what I would change. And then also my name could be a little smaller. I got more comfortable with writing my Chinese name as this class went on. And since this was only the second piece, I wasn't as good at it. And so I had to make the characters a little bigger. But if I could go back and do it again, I would change that and make the actual script work bigger in comparison to my name. Moving on, here's my peer evaluation. This is Cassidy Manuel's regular script. She felt this was the best piece of work that she did in this class, and this was the third project we did. Some strengths on this piece were the spacing of the characters. This piece had more characters than the previous one that I showed, and I feel like she did a good job of spacing all four of them out evenly. Also, the neatness was very nice. She also showed that variation in strokes that I mentioned earlier. She did a good job of showing where she would push her brush down a little more and then lift it up to create that variation. Also, you can tell that each stroke is separate. You can see where she picked up her brush and set it back down. And the placement of the characters in relation to the rest of the paper was also really good. They're in the middle, they're centered, and they're spaced out like they should be. And the strokes are also bold. You can visibly tell what she's writing, and these characters look really nice overall. One thing that she could improve on was her name and date could be a little smaller in relation to the rest of the piece. They do take up almost the same length, and since this was only the third piece, we weren't as good at doing that. So I'm sure if she were to do it today, she would definitely improve on that. But overall, this was a great piece of work. And then here's a little comparison of regular script. On the left is my version of what I just showed, the third project that was regular script, and on the right is Cassidy's work. I feel like Cassie did a better job of showing the variation in thickness and just overall neatness of this piece. And I also should have made my name and date smaller in relation to the rest of my characters. Overall, I thought it was a good piece, but I think Cassie did a little better job of showing the aspects of Chinese calligraphy that we learned in this class with this piece. So that will be all. Thank you.